Good morning, students. Let's start today's class. Consider few examples from our daily life. These are the illustrations which we usually come across in our real life situations. Can you relate the concept used here with the one which we study in mathematics? Yes, these are lines and angles. Lines and angles are involved in nearly every aspect of our daily lives. So children, let's start with the new chapter, that is lines and angles. We know what is a line. A line has no endpoints. If we take a part of a line with two endpoints, then we get a line segment. And if we take a part of a line with one endpoint, is called a ray. What is an angle? We know an angle is formed when two rays having the same origin meet. So these rays are called arm and the common origin is called vertex, and thus we get an angle. Different types of angles. When a measure of the angle is exactly 90 degree, then it is called right angle. When a measure of angle is greater than 0 degree but less than 90 degree, then it is called as acute angle. When a measure of angle is greater than 90 degree but less than 180 degree, then it is called as obtuse angle. When a measure of an angle measures exactly 180 degree, that is, measure of an angle is exactly 180 degree, then it is called as straight angle. When a measure of an angle is less than 360 degree but greater than 180 degree, then it is called as reflex angle. Supplementary angles and complementary angles. When sum of two angles is 180 degree, then those two angles are called supplementary angles. Again, two angles are supplementary when their sum is exactly equal to 180 degree. Here 60 degree and 120 degree are supplementary angles as their sum is 180 degree. When we add 60 degree and 120 degree, we get 180 degree. Complementary angles. Complementary angles are those angles whose sum is exactly 90 degree. When the sum of the angles is 90 degree, then they are complement to each other. Here 67 degree and 23 degree are complementary angles as their sum is exactly 90 degree. Adjacent angles. Let's take an example of a notebook. When you open a book, it looks like the above figure. You can see when you turn pages of the book, there forms angles which are next to each other. Those angles which are next to each other are called adjacent angles. So let's learn this in deeply. Adjacent angles are those angles who have common arm, one common arm and two non-common arms and a common vertex. See, the angle formed here, let's name it angle 1 and angle 2. Angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent angles. Why? Because they have one common arm. This is a common arm which is common to both the angles, and a common vertex. This is the vertex. This vertex is common to angle 1 as well as angle 2. So the first condition is a common arm, common vertex, and two non-common arms. These are two non-common arms lying on the either side of the common arm. So the third condition is two non-common arms lying on either side of the common arm. So what are adjacent angles? Two angles are adjacent if they have one common vertex, one common arm, and two non-common arm lying on the either side of the common arm. Are the angles marked 1 and 2 adjacent? So we have to see whether these angles are adjacent or not. So let's take the first case. What are the three conditions for an angle to be adjacent, or for a pair of angles to be adjacent? What are the conditions? First condition is that they should have common arm. Second is they should have common vertex and two non-common arms lying on the either side of the common arm. So in the first case, there is angle 1 and angle 2. Both have a common vertex, a common arm, and two non-common arm lying on the either side of the common arm. Let's see the second case. Angle 1 and angle 2, they have a common vertex, they have a common origin. If we measure the angles, we are measuring, when we have to measure this angle, angle 1, how we will measure? We will take this as a center, and similarly this will be the center for the angle 2 as well. So they have both have common origin, and this is the common arm, and these two are non-common arms lying on the either side of the common arm. So they are also adjacent angles. In this case also angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent. Let's check for the third case. We have angle 1 and angle 2. We can see that this arm is common to both the angles, and these are the non-common arms, but their origin is not the same, that is they don't have common vertex. So in the last case, angle 1 and angle 2 are not adjacent. Linear pair. So linear pair is a pair of adjacent angles whose non-common sides are opposite rays. Let us understand. We just now discussed that angle 1 and angle 2 of the form like this form a pair of adjacent angles. It is correct that angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent. But whenever there is a case whenever there is a case we are getting the straight line when these two adjacent angles are formed, then these are called as linear pair. So linear pair is a pair of adjacent angles whose non-common sides, these are the non-common sides, are opposite rays. These are opposite rays, and these form a line. So they are called as linear pair. A pen stand. The pen makes a linear pair of angles with the stand. If a pen is made to stand, If a pen is made to stand on a pen stand, then this pen is acting as a ray standing on this line, and the angles so formed are called linear pair. Vertically opposite angles. When two lines intersect at a point, then there are four angles formed. Then there will be two pairs of vertically opposite angle. Take an example of two pencils tied together. Then there are four angles formed. In this, angle 1 and angle 3 are vertically opposite angles, whereas angle 2 and angle 4 are vertically opposite angles. So we got two pairs of vertically opposite angles. So children, this is all for today. Thank you.